Hey guys, today I'm back with another look at one of the figures from the Crisis on Infinite Earths Build-A-Figure wave from the McFarlane DC Multiverse line. And up next, we have Jim Corrigan, the Spectre. Let's get a better look at that packaging, shall we? And then here we have the packaging right here. We, of course, have the contents in there. You have the gold label collection right there because I don't know why Todd decided to make this a gold label wave, but whatever. And you, of course, have the 12 plus age limit right there. You, of course, have the McFarlane DC Multiverse logo right there with the Spectre nameplate right there. He is, of course, 3 of 4 of the figures you need to build the monitor, which I'll be very much looking forward to finishing the monitor as we go along with these reviews. Then you, of course, have the Spectre nameplate on the side. You have the DC Multiverse logo right there. On the bottom, you, of course, have the McFarlane Toys logo right there. On the back, you have the monitor, the same photo of the monitor from Crisis on Infinite Earths as every single other one of this wave. You, of course, have the Spectre nameplate from Crisis on Infinite Earths. Again, it says right here, Spectre comes with the head and the cape of the monitor for the Build-A-Figure. And then it gives you a look at all the figures of the wave. We, of course, took a look at Wally West Kid Flash, Psycho Pirate, and now we're at the Spectre. And then next we'll, of course, take a look at Earth 2 Superman. Then you, of course, have the McFarlane Toys social media pages. Of course, follow them on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. On the side, you, of course, have the Spectre from Crisis on Infinite Earths. You, of course, have the DC Multiverse logo right there. On the bottom, you have the McFarlane Toys logo right there. And then you, of course, have the McFarlane Toys nameplate again. 22 moving parts. On the bottom, you have the annoying Superman legalese because, of course, this is not a Superman property. He's the Spectre. So annoying. Then you, of course, have the barcode for all you barcode hunters out there, which I could see this one more than any of them flying off the shelves because it's the first time we actually get this character, and he's a very important character. But alright guys, let's get this dude out of the packaging. And here we are with the Spectre out of the packaging, and of course before we take a look at the Spectre himself, we're of course going to take a look at the other contents of the packaging, which of course comes up with him coming with the head of the monitor, and it looks really good here. I would have preferred to have his more comic accurate design of having just the black dots, but I understand that it's a more realistic take, so I accept it. At least he has the mutton chops, which the monitor has to have. But besides that, I'm really digging this head, and I cannot wait to put the figure together, and you'll see that in the upcoming reviews. But we're of course going to take a look at the other accessories, which of course includes one McFarlane display stand, which of course is the DC logo right there, one peg right there, and of course you got the 4 little printouts right there. And then you, of course, have the card, which this is one of my favorite panels of all of Crisis on Infinite Earths. Like, Crisis on Infinite Earths has some of the best comic book art you will see in your entire life. The sheer scale that George Perez goes for Crisis on Infinite Earths is wild, and nothing puts that into perspective like this panel right here, with the Spectre trying to save all the Earths. I believe this is right before he fights the Anti-Monitor, which I would love a 2-pack of literally just a bigger version of this sculpt of the Spectre with a repack of the Anti-Monitor with some little army like Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, all those characters around them, just so you could provide the scale of Crisis on Infinite Earths. That would be such a cool idea. Man, McFarlane Toys should hire me for an idea, man. But geez, that's such a great idea. And then you, of course, have the nameplate Spectre from Crisis on Infinite Earths. On the back, you have his bio there, where he is, he's basically... The Spectre is God's wrath, basically. And he basically inhabits people to carry out God's will. And the reason why the Spectre kind of inhabits a host is to keep his wrath just. Because if he doesn't have a host for too long, he gets a little insane, much like Frank Miller Batman a little bit. He gets a little bonkers, so he needs a human to kind of ground him. If you want to know really how the Spectre's dynamic works, I'd highly recommend you guys check out Kingdom Come, where the Alex Ross Batman was from. It really goes into it. The whole basis of the story is surrounded by the dynamics that the Spectre's kind of pathology goes around. I'd highly recommend you guys check out that story. And then, basically, after the Anti-Monitor wins, the Spectre basically becomes the last line of defense against the Anti-Monitor, and he fights the Anti-Monitor, and it's so dope. It's so dope. It's one of my favorite clashes in all of comics. Like, Crisis on Infinite Earths is one of those books you have to read, mainly because how important it is for DC. And second of all, because of the sheer scope of the event. It is the Crisis. Like, it's the big DC event. There has never been a DC event bigger than Crisis on Infinite Earths. Before then or since then. And I just highly recommend everybody check out Crisis on Infinite Earths. It is truly a fantastic story. Even though it is a bit of a textbook in the way it's written, because it was written in 85. And DC had never rebooted up until that point. So they're dealing with like 50 years of continuity. So they really have to get everything right. And they do. But it does get a little slow. But when it gets bombastic, you know what I mean? But let's get a better look at the figure now. And stop me from gushing over Crisis on Infinite Earths. So here is the Spectre. We have not gotten the Spectre yet. But this is the sculpt, at least the bare bones sculpt, of the Target Gold Label Martian Manhunter. The classic Martian Manhunter with the straps. Basically all of the gray you see on this figure, minus the head, of course. So, like, all of the gray you see on this figure right here is that body buck, as well as the underpants. So that's pretty much that. And then what I love is that everything else is new. And I love how they did the silhouetted eyes for the Spectre. I love it when Todd does silhouetted eyes, like the Killing Joke Joker. Looks so menacing. And I do really like the hood, even though I wish it was its own piece. Like, I still don't think when it comes to hooded figures that they did it as well as White Knight Azrael. I think that's the way you do hooded characters. Unfortunately, the Spectre is his hood is attached to the cape. So you're going to run into a lot of him just running into the boundary of the hood, which sucks, but it is what it is. But it's not attached, though, which I find interesting. You can pull it off, which is interesting to say the least, but I'd recommend keeping it on because it looks better. And then you also got this very awesome windswept cape here. And a nice green to it. It has a very dark, sullen green that the Spectre would have. It's not quite the emerald green you'd see of the Green Lanterns, but it's a very pale, dark green that really gives the Spectre a very nice kind of, and it gives him a windswept look that really gives him a sense of awe. And you also get, as you can see in the art here, they managed to replicate that a little with having some stars painted inside the cape, which is a very nice touch. I quite appreciated that as a fan of the book. And then you also have, you know, the all the detailing of the Martian Manhunter buck, even the textured underpants right there. And then you, of course, have the textured hands, which this blows my mind. So when I opened this figure, I wondered something because I remembered seeing something, and I discovered that you'd think for the Detective Comics, the first appearance Batman, Detective Comics number 27, Batman, that you'd think they'd reuse this glove here. Just paint it pink, right? Or purple, my bad. They don't. McFarlane lazies it out and just paints the hands purple with no kind of boundary. Even though the kind of gloves he wears during that time is this. So this would be a perfect boundary to the purple gloves. But it amazes me on the lack of sensibilities McFarlane Toys has. Absolutely amazes me on just the dumb decisions they've done recently. That being one of them. And then also you have at the bottom, you have the pixie boots, which I'm not sure if these are a reprint of anything. The thing I could most think of is the Robin buck, but they're too small, so I think they're a new piece. But you could use this on a relatively adult Robin, like a Dick Grayson at the end of his tenure, or something like that. Or even a World's Finest Dick Grayson. That would be cool. Giving us that updated look from World's Finest, which that's a dope comic. Check it out. But overall, I'm very happy with the details of this figure. Even though I know it's a repack, it's at least a sensible repack, unlike, you know, Kid Flash and Psycho Pirate. And it's also a different repack, as opposed to the repack of the Booster Gold Body Buck that we've seen a million times. So he can look up and look side to side and all that jazz. He does have a double ball pick, but because of the hood, he's a bit limited. So there is that. And with the arms, he of course has an armpit. He looks like he has an armpit joint in there, but just because how the cape is, it seems like you won't get maximum rotation out of it. And that goes for bending it up and back. The cape runs into the arms. This side is a little bit better than this side because you got more cape to deal with. But you also have bicep swivel. You have double jointed elbows, which still, yikes, it's even worse. Let's try to get that. It looks like that'll stay, so that's annoying though. And then you of course have the wrist joints I'm in love with. You have the roll the dice hinge there, and you can rotate it and do up and down like so. Real easy joints, but I love these wrist joints. They're my favorite part of any McFarlane figure. I'll say that in all my videos till the end of time. And then, of course, you can look. He has tons of rotation in the abs. He can, of course, bend that far forward, bend that far back. He can rotate like so. He has standard McFarlane legs right there. He has very decent thigh pivot, pretty decent thigh pivot. He has double jointed knees, but with that cut right there, yikes, yikes, ew, nasty. And then you, of course, have at the top, you have ankle rotation. At the bottom, you have ankle pivot with a mine's decently loose. I don't know about everybody else, but mine is decently loose. It's still, you can feel the ratchet, but it's not as stiff as some others that I've even had in this wave. So be careful for that. Your ankle joints might be a little loose. And you, of course, have toe articulation like so. And here we have the Spectre with all of the Justice Society. So far, we, of course, have Jay Garrick Flash, Alan Scott Green Lantern, of course, our new Spectre right there, Red Tornado, and Dr. Fate from Injustice 2 right there. All of these look great with each other. Even Injustice 2 Dr. Fate, even though I do think we do need a comic proper Dr. Fate at some point. But these four right here, mint. Perfection. They look great together. And I can't wait to put Spectre with the rest of these four guys, or even with some of the magic characters like Justice League Dark, because he is kind of a magic character, but I'd prefer him more as a Justice Society member. Overall, that's just me. And here's Spectre next to these Justice League Dark characters here. We, of course, have Daredevil, which I hate to bring it up, but Booster Gold Body Buck. You can't escape it. You can't escape it. You, of course, have John Constantine Page Puncher's first ever review on the channel, by the way, if you want to go look back into the archives a little. And then you, of course, have Injustice 2 Dr. Fate right there. And, of course, the DC Multiverse, the Demon, or as I know him as, and everyone else, Etrigan. But all these characters look great together, even though, again, Dr. Fate is based off of a more realistic design, but they still do look really fantastic together in an ensemble, as you can see. And here are the other two characters in the wave that we have reviewed thus far. We, of course, have Psycho Pirate and Wally West Kid Flash right there. And I'd say they look pretty darn good, even though Spectre is on a whole nother level compared to these guys, because he's not on the same body book. I don't know. I guess I'm just biased that way now. And here we are at the end of the review here for Spectre here. And overall, this is my favorite figure so far. I've really enjoyed this character, even though he is a repack like the others. It's a buck we haven't seen as much, so it's way more fresh, and he does have some new parts. Like, he has the pixie boots, he has the cape piece, and he has the gloves. He's got a lot of new parts. It's literally only the body, you know what I mean? But everything else is new parts. The fact this is a character we've never seen in a figure before, that's where he kind of has Wally beat a little, because we have the Rebirth version, which I think is a superior design anyway, even though it is on technically a better body. I do like that Rebirth one a lot, but just the fact that he has, you know, the textures all over. He's got the little stars in the cape, which is a nice homage to George Perez's art, and the shadowing on the eyes. Just everything about this figure makes it great. So Honestly, I'd give this character a solid 8. I quite enjoy this figure. He's definitely already the one that I've picked up and played with the most, obviously, because I put him on a flight stand here. So there's that. And he's just so versatile in the way you could display him. And there's so many different teams you can put him with, like Justice Society. You could put him with the League. You could put him with Justice League Dark, because he's a magic character. He's such a versatile character. And even if you want to put him with just the Crisis level characters, you gotta put him in with the Crisis level characters because of the big role he plays in Crisis on Infinite Earths. So there is that as well. But he's just a great figure. I'd highly recommend getting him if you can without the monitor part. Unless if you want to build monitor, then of course just get him in package. But if you don't want to get the rest of the wave and just get the Spectre, I'd highly recommend you getting Spectre. He's a really dope figure. And of course with that, I'm calling this video to a close. And let me know what you guys think about this figure in the comments down below. I really appreciate conversing with you guys, hearing your opinions. It really brightens my day. And as always, I will catch you guys in the next video. And oh, I almost forgot. When I said he comes with the head, I almost forgot. He comes with a cape too. He comes with the cape and the head. So he comes with the ancillary parts. He doesn't come with like any vital parts, obviously, besides the head. But yeah, he comes with this cape and this head for the monitor, just so you're aware. But yeah, I will catch you guys in the next video. Peace.